Let us now start with the topic named trade cycles in unit number 1. Most of the economies in the world suffer from economic fluctuations at different times and at different stages. Sometimes these fluctuations are short and mild, while sometimes it can be for too long and it can also be too deep. For example, Great Depression of 1930s. So these economic fluctuations are referred to as cyclical fluctuations. Why? Because they are wave-like fluctuations. They create wave-like changes in economic activity, which involves different phases of expansion and contraction. So as you can see uh, in a picture, you can see there is a wave-like changes where there is expansion and there is contraction. Then again there is expansion. In the second picture you can see there is a child who is driving a cycle. So that cyclical movements is called as oscillating movements, which takes the shape of the waves. So hence these fluctuations are known as trade cycles or business cycles. Now let's understand two most important definitions of trade cycle. The first one is given by Keynes. Keynes has defined trade cycle as trade cycle is composed of, that means it consists of periods of good trade. That means there is good trade for a certain amount of time characterized by, that means it has certain similar peculiar characteristics or features. What are these characteristics? Characteristics of rising prices and low unemployment percentage. That means the prices are high and unemployment rate is very small. Alternating with periods of bad trade. This means that after good trade is over, then comes this period of bad trade. That is, that period of bad trade is also for a certain period of time. After that again there will be a period of good trade. Okay, so further in this period of bad trade, there is characteristics, that is features of falling prices and high unemployment percentage. That means in bad trade there is prices are falling and unemployment rate is very high. Further, second definition is given by Samuelson and Northus. So they have defined trade cycle or business cycle as that it is a swing. Swing means what, students? You must during your childhood you all must have sat on a swing. So what is the movement of swing? Up and down, up and down, right? So same way even the business cycle also goes up and down, up and down. So during this up and down, what goes up and down? There is national output, income and employment. So these three things go up and down. Which three things? National output, income and employment. Usually lasting for a period of 2 to 10 years. That is, this business cycle or this each period lasts for between 2 to 10 years, marked by, that is, it consists of widespread expansion or contraction. That means during this period there will be expansion and contraction in most of the sectors of the economy. Now let's understand different phases of trade cycle. This diagram under phases of trade cycle topic shows different phases of trade cycles. Let's understand this diagram in much detail. Now let's understand this diagram. On this x-axis we plot the time path, while the y-axis we will plot the level of economic activity. This line here, the slanting line here shows, that is line S, shows the steady growth path. A typical trade cycle consists of 4 phases. As you can see here, recovery, prosperity, recession and depression. Now the cycle starts at at the trough. Trough is the lowest point on the trade cycle. After trough, it passes through a recovery phase. After recovery, then it passes through a prosperity phase, and finally it reaches the peak. The peak is the highest point in the trade cycle. After reaching the peak, it then starts declining. So it then starts declining and going through the phase of recession, followed up by the phase of depression, and again it reaches the lowest point, that is the point of trough. After reaching the point of trough, the same trade cycle begins once again. And that is the reason we say that the trade cycle has cyclical fluctuations. Because it again starts. So I have explained the same process here in my last slide already. So we shall skip this part. You can have a look at the explanation that I have provided in the PPT. This slide shows certain important points which we need to keep in mind so that we know all the phases very well. First one is the prosperity phase. Now always remember students, the prosperity phase shows the period of expansion or upswing. Followed up by this prosperity phase comes is the recession phase. Now during this recession phase, that is recession phase starts after the prosperity phase is over. So this phase is from prosperity towards depression. After the recession phase, the third phase comes is the depression phase. So this depression phase shows the contraction or the downswing of the economy. Once the economy is recovered from this depression phase, it finally reaches the recovery phase. Now this recovery phase shows a turn from, it takes a turn from depression to back to prosperity. And then again the trade cycle continues. So this we need to keep in mind so as to understand this topic very well. Now let's understand each of the four phases in much detail. The phase 1 is prosperity. Now the peculiar characteristics or features of prosperity phase are: there is increase in output, increase in employment, increase in investment demand, increase in profits, increase in prices, increase in standard of living. In this prosperity phase, bank credits increase, followed up by increase in supply of money. And this increase in supply of money continues to flow in all kinds of economic activities. Then the idle funds that were not utilized earlier are now channelized, that is, it is utilized for productive areas, and because of this there is increase in profits. Finally, the economy reaches its full employment phase. Further, in this prosperity phase, there is increase in demand for various goods and services, and because of this there is increase in prices. But the prices of various factors of production, that is factor income or the factor payment, the prices of that do not increase as fast as prices of other goods and services. Further, there is increase in the business activities, giving rise to higher profits and higher demand for bank credit. Now the economy reaches its peak, that is the peak point. Now the peak point is called as the period of highest level of prosperity, in which increase in demand is halted. That means after the economy has reached its peak, there is no more increase in demand. The demand is now at a halt. It is now stopped. This shows the end of prosperity and the beginning of recession phase. So factors like shortage of inputs, increase in prices, increase in interest rates, and stagnant demand, that means the halt in the demand, leads to a fall in profits as well as a fall in investment. So this shows that this prosperity phase has now ended and the recession phase has now started. The next phase, that is phase 2, is recession phase. So when the prosperity ends, recession begins. That is, it starts. So the recession is a phase where there is contraction, or it is a phase where the economy slows down. But the growth rate may still remain above the steady state path. We have already seen in the diagram the steady path line, that is S line, when we were doing the diagram. Apart from this, recession is generally of short duration. Further, in this recession phase, businesses suffer from fall in profits. Because of this, there is fall in prices. Due to lack of investment opportunity, the demand for bank credit also falls, thus further leading to a fall in rate of interest, a fall in investment, a fall in income, as well as fall in demand. Recession can be either mild or it can also be severe. If recession continues for a long period, then this reaches to a period of full depression. This leads us to the next phase, that is phase 3, depression. Depression is a period of low economic activity. The growth rate during depression falls below the steady growth path, as we saw in the diagram. Further, during depression, the economy faces fall in production, fall in employment, fall in income, fall in investment, as well as fall in demand and prices. And finally, the businesses, that is the business profits, become low. It reaches very low, or sometimes it even becomes negative. Further, the depth of depression consists of the economic activities which reaches its lowest. So this point is called as the point of trough. Now this depression lasts for a decade, or it can also last for 3 to 4 years. For example, the Great Depression of the year 1929 to 1932. Now let's understand how the process of reversal will take place. That is, how the economy will move back. That means the economy will come out from this phase of depression and move towards recovery. So let's see that process. So here there are certain economic agents which play an important role. One is producers. That is, the producers will start giving more jobs to workers, thinking, okay, or anticipating or thinking that there will be better future. This will lead to increase in capital stock. Further, the next economic agent is consumer. Here now the consumers will start purchasing more. Why? Because they had thought that we will wait till the prices fall, but they cannot wait now further. So the postponed consumption, that means the consumption that they had not done earlier, they were waiting for the prices to fall, they will now start purchasing those goods and services, because after a point, if it is a need, if it's a requirement, the consumer has to purchase that particular good or a service, correct? So same way, now the consumer will no more postpone its consumption, but rather purchase those goods and services. Why? Now expecting that there can be that no further decline in price, matlab abhi price और कम नहीं होगा, so now let's purchase the good, this is the right time. And because of this, gradually, that means slowly the demand starts increasing. Third economic agent which plays an important role in the process of reversal are the banks and private investors. So they will now start investing in various bonds, in various securities. This leads to increase in investment as well as increase in employment, further leading to increase in output, income as well as demand. Now, finally, the economy has moved towards the recovery phase. The last phase is the phase 4, that is recovery. In recovery phase, there is upward trend, that is there is an increase in output, income as well as employment. Further, there is increase in demand for goods and services, which leads to increase in investment as well as employment, thus further leading to increase in output as well as income. Now the economy has revived. Further, the economy now faces expansion. That is, there is an expansion in income, employment, consumption, investment as well as prices. Finally, now the economy enters the prosperity phase and the trade cycle then now repeats all over again. So the economy then once again moves through all the 4 phases. As you can see in this picture, the picture clearly depicts that the trade cycle repeats once again. So all the cyclical fluctuation repeats all over again. And it is a continuous process which every economy goes through. Now let's understand the next part under the topic trade cycles, that is features of trade cycles. Let's understand the features of trade cycle. So features of trade cycle means what are the characteristics of a typical trade cycle. So what happens in a trade cycle? So the very first one is there are fluctuations. Fluctuations in what? Fluctuations in aggregate economic activities. So what happens here is that as we know that every trade cycle goes through various economic fluctuations, various cyclical fluctuations, right? Now these fluctuations are not consisting of any single unit. That is, it does not affect only one single economic variable or any single economic factor. For example, only prices are not affected, but rather there are a chain of events that are affected. For example, there will be changes in variables like employment, changes in investment, changes in profit, and so on. Second feature is of expansion and contraction. So a typical trade cycle goes through this period of expansion as well as contraction. So what happens in expansion? What are the characteristics of expansion phase? First is there is rise in consumption as well as rise in production. So what happens during consumption? There is an increase in demand from the consumers. So consumers would like to spend more, they would like to consume more, and because there is a demand for the goods and services, businesses start producing more, right? And because they start producing more, they require is labor. So because of this, what happens? They will start hiring more and more of labor to increase the production process. So this leads to what? Higher employment. Further, as the people's demand for goods and services rise, the prices also rise, thus leading to the increase in wages for the laborers as well. Further, there is rise in profits, demand for credit as well as stock prices. This means that the businesses expect that their profits will increase during expansion phase. Also, the investors expect that the stock prices will also increase. Why? Because they expect that the businesses will bloom, it will flourish. Also further, since the demand for credit rises sharply, so the interest rates also further rises during this expansion phase. Further, let's understand the characteristics of contraction phase. First is there is fall in consumption as well as production during the contraction phase, that is during recession. So what happens here exactly? Let's see. Here during recession, the consumers do not like to purchase any goods and services. So thus leading to a fall in the demand for goods and services. So because there is fall in the demand for goods and services, businesses do not increase their production. And because they do not increase their production, they do not require more labor. So in fact they the existing employees are told to leave the job, further leading to a fall in their income or leaving their job completely, thus leading to increase in unemployment rates. Businesses further also do not like to invest in any new techniques or any new technology or any new machinery. Further, there is fall in prices, that is, the demand for goods and services decline. But the wages, that is the labor wages and the labor services, they are not likely to decline. The prices for the labor services as well as the wages, that is labor wages, they are not likely to decline but rather tend to rise, that is increase. Further, the businesses also expect that there will be fall in profits during a recession or contraction. Further, the stock prices also fall and the demand for credit also falls. Thus, the interest rates also finally falls during the recession phase. Further, next feature is co-movement of variables. What is co-movement of variables? Co-movement of variable means it's a tendency of many economic variables to move together in a predictable manner along the trade cycle. This means what? That now when we studied under contraction, we understood that what happens under contraction, there is fall in consumption, fall in production, the unemployment rate rises, there is prices that fall. So this all is a common characteristic of contraction phase, right? So this is an example of co-movement of variables. That is, there are certain factors which you can predict what happens in a particular phase, right? So we know that what happens during recession, there is a fall. There is generally a fall in many economic factors. Similarly, what happens during expansion, there is a rise in certain economic factors. So we can predict the co-movement of variables. That is how certain factors will react in a particular phase. So this we can predict. Next point is that trade cycles are recurrent in nature. Recurrent means it comes again and again, again and again. But trade cycles are not periodic. This means what? There is no fixed time limit for each phase. So I cannot predict that a particular country will have, for example, 2 years of period of prosperity. After 2 years is over, then the country will move towards the recession phase. No, we cannot say that. There is no fixed time period for any particular phase. But we do say that trade cycles are recurrent. That is, the same phase can happen after some time again. It is recurrent. It comes again and again, just like how the cycle moves. Next point is uncertainty to businesses. That means whenever an economy is going through any major, uh, any major event, then it is the businesses who are going to be affected the first. So their profits will fluctuate more than any other type of income. So it is the businesses who are going to be affected the very first. And the last feature of trade cycle is that it is international in nature. By international in nature means what? That the trade cycles are international in character. That means that, for example, if only one country is facing through any period of recession or inflation, so it is not that only one country is affected. all the chain of events will be affected. That is, if there is inflation in our country, it will be felt somewhere else, that is some other part of the world as well. Why? Because we are living in a globalized world, right? So I can give you a very good example, that is of Great Depression of 1930s. Okay, so it is not that only one country is affected, but rather all the countries will be affected directly or indirectly. That is why we say that trade cycles are international in character.